this demo, we're going to be doing a social engineering attack demonstration using the social engineering toolkit. And what I'm using right now is Parrot OS. And you can see here in Parrot, we have a couple of default pen testing tools. You can see that we have tools specific for exploiting exploitation tools. And in this case, we're going to be using what's known as SET, the social engineering toolkits. First thing we get is if we want to agree to the use of SET, and there you'll see that we get our set of options. So in this case, we're going to be going ahead with a website attack vector, so option number 2. And you'll see that this is based off just running off the command line. So here we just input our options. So option 2 for vector attack, option 3 for harvesting, credential harvesting. And we're going to need to post back so we can identify where we're going to want to be running this attack from. And in this case, it's just going to be since I'm running this attack locally, it's just going to be on the IP address of the virtual machine. Now, here we can pick what website we want to clone. It gives us a default example of thisisafakesite.com. I'm actually going to go with something that's presently out there, like the 407 ETR webpage. And you'll see that in just a moment here, if we open up Firefox, we're going to be able to replicate essentially the web page and clone the site. Now, this vulnerability is due to a number of things, particularly when it comes to cloning. A lack of embedded metadata or watermarks or even some encryption can be something to deter this type of attack. Now, keep in mind, just because you incorporate certain things to be able to prevent cloning from happening doesn't mean that it can't necessarily be cloned. The key thing here is that with a social engineering toolkit, we're able to clone it instantaneously. So the dead giveaway is the IP address. You can see that the IP address is locally hosted, but the clone came out pretty well because if I go to the original site and I hold it side by side, you can see that the cloning uh, was done pretty well. Um, Now with the credential harvester here, this is where the magic happens. We put in our test email, we'll put in a test password, and the credential harvester will then pick this up. You'll notice that it'll redirect us to the real site, but when we go into our command line there, you'll notice that we were able to retrieve the username and the password, specifically my super secret password and my test email. And that's how credentials get harvested. Now, just a quick note, this was just a demonstration for credential harvesting done on a local machine. But if we want to take this further, we could, of course, put this on another server with a public facing IP and redirect it to another server and, of course, get a domain name. So, of course, the attack itself can be done in a more elaborate way. In our case, of course, Parrot OS being something for pen testing, this is a very good tool to be able to go into an organization to be able to test and see whether or not people are susceptible to phishing scams or even these types of attacks of credential harvesting. So again, this lab is mainly done for ethical purpose to demonstrate credential harvesting, social engineering attack with a website.